Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the official Bay Street Barons podcast. As always, I'm your host, Farhan Saeed,
I'm Alex Source.
And I'm Nuwair.
and today we have yet another week of some pretty crazy earnings reports. And so, like always, we're going to jump right into it and talk about it. So, I think we spoke about this company last week's episode, or maybe the week before that, but Disney, right? Disney is a big company, and they just recently reported earnings. And we have some good news and we have some bad news, right, Alex?
Right. So Disney did report earnings, and the parks are now positive. So they're making money in the parks now, which is great. We all love the parks.
Mm-hmm.
The stock today, it jumped up in, I guess, pre-market because they reported earnings after hours yesterday to as high as 187, sort of 58 range. But then it was just a sell-off, which you just don't like to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also other news regarding Disney, the whole debacle, so to speak, with Scarlett Johansson and her dispute over earnings from the Black Widow movie caused her to, so to speak, be blacklisted now from Disney movies because they were supposed to make a movie based off the ride, the Tower of Terror, which is a ride in the Disney parks where it's like a drop tower. So they were supposed to make this whole movie about it, and she was set to star in it. So not only did they like remove her from the movie, no, they took it one step further. They canceled the whole movie, and they were like, "Nope,
And they're going to see her in court.
yeah,
You
Disney
know,
lawyers up against Scarlett Johansson. I don't know about that. Sorry,
I don't
Noah.
know about
Um,
that."
what I was hearing was that I know originally her claim was that about the earnings from the Black Widow movie, not because a lot of it was from Disney and it not being in the contract or whatever. But what I've heard was, and then in a recent interview, she was saying that it went against the good faith of the contract, which is again, it's not the example that I would give is let's say that you have a contract that says that you're gonna sell away all Apple products, and then what you do is instead of having Apple products, you just change it. You're like, no, that's a pair now. So technically, the contract you sold all Apple products, but again, it's going against a good faith. So I think that's what she's gonna try and argue that they went against and they bent the rules.
I mean, if it holds up in a court of law, it holds up in a court of law. But I
I
don't know. I don't really
I
think
don't
that.
know about that, man.
Yeah,
I
what
I
the way you're
I
Yeah.
describing it, I don't know.
I
I don't
I
know what that sounds
wouldn't I
like.
wouldn't be like that. Like, what was the terminology used? Like best
Good faith.
effort. Like, what did you say to her? Like, what was the term you used for
Good
the
faith.
contract? Good faith. Good faith sounds an awful lot like extrapolation, and you don't want to be extrapolating anything when you're going up against Disney's legal team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out.
Indeed, it
Weird,
will.
weird move. I don't think it was money motivated. I mean, why would it be like it's Scarlett Johansson? Like, what the, you know? Seems more like I don't know, like a social play or like a ego driven play. I don't know.
Well, it's
I
also
don't.
about the whole thing of the sense that when you go to the cinema to buy a movie or buy a movie ticket, you watched it, but that's it. Whereas on Disney, and tell me if I'm wrong, but once you pay for it, you also own it for a certain amount of time or for a certain period.
Yeah.
So it's that sense okay, people can just keep rewatching it without having to pay more. Like, I'm not
Yeah, and
entirely sure
so
on that, but I think
I
for
so.
think
people,
you're
yeah,
right. I think you're
that's
right. And
like
then
a summary of the issue basically for those who don't know.
I just read this morning that the Shang-Chi movie that's supposed to come out on September 3rd, they're making it only in theaters due to contract disputes.
Really.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
my point would be a lot more people are excited to see Shang-Chi than that Black Widow movie.
Yeah. I'm only gonna go see it because it has that guy from Kim's Convenience. Have you guys seen Kim's Convenience?
No, I haven't. Who's
I've seen
who's
it
from Kim's
once.
Convenience?
It's like a TV show. It's just like it's kind of like it's just a funny thing. It's about this like Korean like immigrated
Yeah,
family
yeah,
who runs a
yeah.
convenience store. So the guy who plays like Jung, who's supposed to be like the guy who's
Oh, the
playing
main guy,
the main
Shang-Chi?
guy, the main yeah. He's the big brother on that show. So I
Oh,
like him a lot.
really?
So I'm probably gonna go watch it
Oh,
for
that's
that
cool.
reason. See
He's
him getting like a
Canadian
big
too,
break.
isn't he?
I think
I'm
he's
pretty sure he's
Canadian.
from
Yeah,
Scarborough or something.
he might just be. I don't know, but
It's pretty epic.
yeah,
Gotta support.
gotta
I mean,
support. Yeah, gotta support.
but that brings up
Um,
like a good point of like let's say moving forward. Um, I do think cinemas are like after everything that we have gone through, movies releasing on stuff like Disney or even Netflix or like online is it's gonna be like it's not gonna just all of a sudden stop. I don't think so. But moving forward, like how do these companies deal with that, or like how do actors deal with that? Because of course, I think there is a substantial amount of money that they are missing out on if it's being released digitally versus just in cinemas.
that is
The
true
cinemas
because
will. Oh, sorry. You go ahead, Farhan.
I'm just saying because back in the day, the movie industry was essentially their stats and their money was based on, okay, we have a budget and then we have box office sales, right? We need to make this much box office sales. But now there you can't really rely on box office sales so heavily because think about it, people will think, all right, that movie's coming out, you know what? Do I want to go spend, the $20 on the ticket or do I want to wait a few weeks until I can, find it online somewhere? You know? And that's kind of
I
becoming an issue.
I would like to fully disagree with that. I think the
Okay.
movie theaters are not going anywhere because it's like when like think about a movie that you're really excited to see. Like I'm extremely excited to see the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out in December. I would rather pay double to see it in the movie theater than to watch it on my TV at home because it's the experience of being in the movie theater,
Of
the
course.
big screen, the
But
sound, like that's not going
yeah,
anywhere. And like there's so many pluses to the movie theater that the home theater doesn't have, you know what I mean? Like it's not going anywhere,
I mean,
the
I
movie
and
theater
see,
business.
I agree with you because I myself am also like a kind of like a movie buff. I love that experience as well. So I agree with you there. But I'm talking about the average just household. Like, do you really think like the Shang-Chi movie, for example, that's coming out? There's millions of people out there who are thinking, I want to see that, but I'll wait. I'll wait a week or a week or two or a month until it gets on to whatever streaming platform. I don't know. Don't you think that
I
that's
I
becoming you don't think in the slightest that that's becoming like a rising sort of trend with people?
I think you're talking like at most 5% of people that were going to go
Really?
see this movie. Yeah, no, because this is, you got to remember, this is a Marvel movie. And like we said last time with the Disney Plus conversation, it fits into the puzzle. The people that have seen all the
Okay.
other Marvel movies are going to be like scratching their
Okay, so
arm at
what
the door
about
to
what
get in
about
there.
non like not these huge hits that are anticipated? What about smaller movies that are just coming out? New directors, fresh faces, fresh like actors and stuff.
Smaller things like that, sure, maybe during this time of the COVID. However, I think once COVID's out of the picture, the movie theaters will be back to what it used to be. But there will still be the premiere access. I think that's not going away, but I don't think it will be that big of a problem for movie theater chains because it's like the experience. You're not paying really to see a movie. You're paying to go out, and do something. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Suicide Squad just came out. Last week, and like that was the first time I've been to a movie theater in over a year.
must have been crazy.
yeah.
It was just it could have been anything. I just wanted like to go out to a movie theater.
I mean, I
Do they
get
ask you to wear your
that.
mask in the cinema? Sorry, no, cut you
No,
off
no.
twice. Do they ask you to wear your mask in the hall,
I think
like in this
you
actual theater?
I I'm not sure because like if you have your popcorn and you're
Yeah,
eating
Oh,
your
true.
popcorn,
I don't know.
but
Random
that's why
question.
like
Anyways,
like they book it like so like if I'm sitting here and like a buddy of mine sitting here, then on both sides two seats cannot be booked.
oh, okay. So it's
Okay.
And
even socially
so
distanced.
yeah,
Okay.
so it's they're people
Mm,
way far apart.
okay. Sorry, Nuwair. Continue what you're saying.
No, I was just saying I agree with going for the experience, but I do think that like it will affect cinemas going forward because I mean even if there were like premieres before COVID, there weren't as many or people like really didn't care. But right now it's like instead of especially people who do have home theaters, like why should I go out? And again, it's also like paying for food and whatnot where you can just get it at home. Again, I don't think I much rather watch a movie at the cinema like 100%. I think one of my biggest regrets is not watching Interstellar in cinemas. That's one of the
Oof.
one movie if I could go back in time, I would like
Yeah.
pay any amount of money to go watch in cinemas. But again, I think there's people who would much rather just Like, why not? Let me just relax in my own home. But I don't know.
Not to
When I think of
mention
the
like
cinemas, sorry, go ahead.
just really quickly, like the whole going out to the movie theaters is not necessarily just I'm going to see this movie. It's also a cheap, social event. Like, like how many times have the like us in our lives where we plan a day, all right, let's go to the mall, we'll get lunch and see a movie. Just it's something to do and it's cheap. You don't have to go and like I personally don't like popcorn at all.
Then it's cheap for you. For me, it's not cheap. I need a lot. When I get my large popcorn, I'm throwing $30 with the ticket. That's a $30, thing right there. So I don't know. That's me though. Nowhere. I don't know. Are you a popcorn guy or no?
Nah, I need something there where I'm watching
You
the
need
movie. I
something.
gotta be.
Exactly.
No,
So for me, it's not
I
cheap. I'll say that. But yeah. I don't know.
interesting though.
It could affect the industry going forward. I think Alex has a point though. It might even be a minor amount, 5%, but it's still something.
Yeah, and I'm sure like cinemas will find some way to come up with like another reason why people should come there to watch it instead of. I mean, anything. I think 3D is one, like you're not gonna get that, or any like IMAX or whatever.
Max.
Yeah, exactly. Those experiences you're not gonna be able to get at home. But then just like
Mhm.
those smaller movies, like we mentioned, would be. I have no clue. I have no clue. It's
But
gonna
at the same
be interesting.
time, one thing that I kind of just came to mind, when Netflix or Disney Plus or Amazon Prime buys the rights of these movies from these companies to stream it on their platforms, how does that pricing work? Do any of you know? Obviously, I'm assuming if it's a hotter movie, then what do they pay? They're paying more. Like, how does that work? Or are they renting the movie from them? Because like, how does that work?
Premier access stuff?
No, no, not even Premier Access. Just for example, like a new okay, after the Spider-Man movie's in theaters for a few weeks, it's gonna get on Netflix soon, right? Or after a month or so. How does
Well, we're going on Disney, obviously. Bad
or sorry,
example.
Disney. How would Disney purchase it from? Like, how does that work?
It's
Like,
their movie.
Bad
okay,
example.
okay,
Let's use
bad
let's use a
example.
different
Bad
example.
example. Netflix is buying a movie from Warner Bros. Or something. Okay, all right, that they
They all
have.
have their own streaming services now. I like they literally all the big like the Warner Brothers ones. I don't remember which house like my HBO Max might have it. I don't know, but there was one of them that has all the DC stuff now. And then there's
Mhm.
another one that has all this stuff now, or like all the Warner Brothers stuff, or it's like blah 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 has all this stuff. So there's no like unless it's some like little indie cult film, Netflix will be able to grab it up. All the other ones, like
Yeah,
they already have a contract, or like if
that's
it's
true
Amazon,
too.
they just
Actually.
buy it, the whole
Mhm.
company.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess so.
and we're just gonna
Because
have
I
to
was gonna
wait
say
and
like
see.
that. Because I was gonna say like that right there is its own way to make money, for these movie companies, but clearly not if they all have their own streaming services. Then I guess.
You know, why would you go through a streaming service? You cut out the middleman.
Yeah,
Like Disney Plus, like I doubt the whole streaming Disney Plus thing cost them a lot of money to set up.
like no, based on the return they're getting back from it, all the subscribers, it's like nothing. No,
No, like their return on invested capital must be huge on that Disney
crazy.
Plus
Yeah.
because of like especially like with like the Mandalorian and stuff like that. It's just mind-bogglingly good.
Hmm.
But on to another topic. We do have quite a bit of interesting earnings reports next week, including Nuwair's favorite is reporting
Nvidia,
earnings next week.
5 days, counting down 5 days.
He's like a little kid waiting for Christmas.
Why does it feel like Nvidia's dropped earnings like 100 times already this year?
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
like that because
Cause
every time I'm talking to Aware, it's something about Nvidia's earnings.
I
uh,
What is
think I
this?
think Nuwair just keeps talking about it like weeks and weeks after it's happened.
yeah, I'm
I
like
think that
yeah,
might be
it's like
yeah.
a 3 week period where like earnings are reported, like pre-earnings, post-earnings, and like give it 2 months, and then again that period's back or whatever.
Then
Hmm.
Nuwair goes through the 5 stages of grief.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Uh,
What quarter is this for Nvidia?
second quarter,
Second. So what are we
Third
expecting here,
quarter.
Nowhere?
third.
Third quarter.
Third quarter?
I mean, for those who are watching on YouTube, you can see it's green, green, green.
Oh, you have it pulled up. Let's see.
They keep beating earnings, but again, the stock price doesn't really reflect exactly if they beat earnings or not. Gonna have to wait and see. I mean, after what AMD did, I'm I'm hopeful or optimistic on something because again, it's kind of in that area. But with
What
like
AMD did?
semiconductors, you never know. Yeah, AMD reported a quite. I think we talked about it in one of the episodes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
oh,
we did.
sorry,
We
sorry. Yeah,
did
the earnings. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They smashed earnings.
So I don't know.
Okay.
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Indeed.
I mean,
And
either
then,
I can say these two things. Again, it's not 100%. Okay, so don't take my word on it. But either it's gonna, if it stays above 200, it's gonna run up. If it falls below, then I think it will drop quite a bit. I don't think it's gonna stay, especially after Nvidia after earnings staying stable. I doubt it.
Do you think the split is gonna have any sort of effect on earnings or just more people getting in the stock or anything?
It hasn't really affected much. I mean, it's not as volatile, moving like crazy amounts each day, like 20. Like I
Mhm.
remember there would be days where Nvidia would move like $50 or like $20. Like you won't see that anymore. But I think like
well, proportionately,
yeah,
it
it's
still
I
is
was
still
I was
yeah
moving that
thinking
amount.
that too.
yeah, but it's just not moving like that dollar amount. Is a better way to
And
say it.
then next week, we also have Walmart, Target, and Home Depot reporting earnings. That should be quite interesting.
Uh,
Kind of
and
to me just seems like three companies that are just gonna report some pretty decent earnings. Nothing crazy.
And
Just
correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure like people look at like companies um such as Walmart, Target, Home Depot as an indicator of how the economy is doing as well. Because there's lots of um what's the word I'm looking for here? Lots of
like
sales and
regular
revenues in
spending.
regular spending as like a good sign. But if they're not, if they're falling below expectations, it's like a sign of okay, well, why aren't people spending the way that they're expected to? Like just a
Could be a
just small
small indicator.
indicator.
Yeah, a very very small indicator, but I don't know. I don't think it'd
It's
be
a
anything too crazy because I don't know. What do you think, Alex?
it's an interesting way to think about it.
Because it is Walmart and Target, which I know in the U.S. especially Target is like
And I
like
know
very
Home
very big,
Depot
right?
because I know housing is one of like the indicators of like how the economy's doing and whatnot because housing is not only just like buying housing, you're buying materials for
Building.
housing. Yeah, exactly that goes into a lot.
Mm.
So like that
I wouldn't look at
aspect.
Home Depot for housing though. I feel like I would look at like real estate like
Well, because of
companies.
the lumber, right?
Yeah, the lumber, like the
Oh,
appliances
okay.
and stuff,
From that in
whatnot.
that sense, yeah.
I don't know. It's
Fair
interesting. Like
enough.
I remember hearing about it or reading about it as well. So I thought I would bring that up.
Yeah, that's that. No, yeah, that is interesting. I never thought about it like
Interesting.
that
And
because
then it seems like a good point to transition into the topic that I'm very excited to talk about.
mhm.
Private companies that we think would be an interesting investment opportunity is the way I would phrase it. So,
Mhm.
for those of you that don't know, private companies are not traded on the stock market versus public companies are. So the private companies are held by a same, like they're still a corporation and everything, but it's not like we cannot go and buy a stake in these companies because they've chosen not to. So we each have a couple of companies to talk about. Who wants to go first?
I can start. I think I was talking about gaming that I think gaming is a huge industry and there's a lot of companies that I feel should be public. For example, the people who created Uncharted, The Last of Us, Ratchet and Clank, the company's called Naughty Dog. That's a huge company right there. I mean, The Last of Us was one of the best-selling games on the PlayStation platform. The whole Uncharted series was best game of the year every single year. I mean, they've done crazy numbers. I don't think Treyarch has a stock. No, Treyarch does not have a stock. I'm not actually sure about Ubisoft.
I know Activision does.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Activision
That's the
and
only
Does
one I
Activision
know.
own Treyarch?
Crosshair also.
I don't think
Does Activision
Activision
own
owns
Treyarch?
Treyarch. I don't think
No.
so.
Not sure.
But yeah, one of the first things that came to my mind was that there's a lot of game developers that I feel should be publicly traded. I feel like it would also help in putting together just better games, higher quality games. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's one
That
thing
would
I
that
thought
would be
about.
quite the volatile stock. Because can you imagine
It
like they
is.
make like Uncharted, like I don't know what their number they're on is, like Uncharted 83, and
Five
it's
would be the
like
next one, but it's done now. Yeah.
complete like garbo, and then the stock just goes.
Well, yeah, I mean that you could see that. I mean, like it works like that with a lot of companies, though, doesn't it? I mean, companies drop a shitty
I know, but
product,
like you don't have like it wouldn't be I don't know like what it would be similar to because it's almost like
the
the
hype
company
is
works
more
really hard on one
on
product and
one
it's
thing.
not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like the consumer comes back and rebuys it. They buy it once.
Hmm.
So if the consumer like if the reviews are bad on it, that's you're screwed. All the money that you put into it is, it's going to get
So you think maybe that's a reason why some of these companies are privately funded because there's just so much build up to that event that if they don't make a crazy game, they're just screwed.
Gaming
Like,
is also like very, very like cyclical as well. Because I know like my
yeah.
brother, he looks like he follows Activision, and that stock's just
mhm.
up and down. There was even like a lawsuit recently on Activision. Like it just moves like up and down again because of the whole thing of like, okay, if like games coming out or whatnot. And then like another example I would say is kind of like Nintendo. Again, it's not the same thing, but like Nintendo I would say it's a decent, like it has good I believe it has good cash flow. I'm not entirely sure, but the stock has not been doing that well, and I think
Oof.
revenues went a bit down as well. Or and the, people are looking into, okay, well, what's the next console gonna be? You know, is it gonna be able to compete with PlayStation and whatnot? What's the shelf life on the Switch? So there's a lot more that goes into, I would say, analyzing these companies that's not traditional compared to other companies. But it's a very
That makes sense.
interesting, like, interesting industry.
I just looked up Naughty Dog thing. Naughty Dog I think is owned by Sony actually. I think.
Sony's in a lot. Like, Sony
I
does
didn't
a
even I actually
lot.
did not know that. I was just saying companies on top of my head. Yeah.
I've got three very different companies that I was thinking would be interesting. One of them, so first one is Chick-fil-A, IKEA, and Lego. Each I
Lego.
think would be very interesting stocks to say the least.
Surprised that Lego is private.
Yeah,
It's
what's a
owned
pro?
by this. It's owned by the same family that started the company.
Surprised me the
Really?
most was IKEA. I don't know why. I assumed that IKEA already had a stock, just because, like, I mean, it's IKEA, but that's. I think that out of those three, IKEA would be like the one that would be the most
I would I
optimistic
would
about.
I would be so fascinated if IKEA was public because I want to see if they make money or not on the cafeteria because I'm pretty sure like that's got to be a loss leader, right? There's
I
no
thought something
way.
serious was coming from this. Like you were gonna drop some crazy point, and the guy's like cafeteria. Like,
There's no way they're making a profit on that food. Like it's too good and it's too cheap.
yeah, fair enough.
Like
Um,
if I was like living in somewhere like New York or somewhere else where it's got a really high standard of living, like where the cost to live is really high, I think I would just eat at IKEA every day. Because think about it,
Right.
like fish and chip meal, like it's dirt cheap. You get two pieces of fish, fries, like that's a lot
it's
of
like eight
food.
bucks. You think
I
maybe they
know,
kind of
and
implement that Costco strategy too,
I'm
where
telling you,
like
it's
whatever
got
they
to be a
do,
loss leader. And the soups are amazing. That tomato feta soup that they have is great. The meatballs are great. Like, there's nothing there that's bad. Like,
everything's
I would
good.
go
The
eat
cheese
there
is
every day.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, take a nap on one of the beds after too, just make it out.
Oh
Um,
my god! I
What
I
was
think I
guess
would have
it?
a problem with that though.
yeah.
What was the third one you said, Alex? It was Lego, IKEA, and then
And
for
Chick-fil-A,
Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
So they're
Chick-fil-A, I'd be
private
very
because they're
interested
like,
in
yeah, I think it has a
the
bit to
the
do with them being
the
like a very
founder.
Catholic religious
The
company.
founder said, I think I could be wrong with the quote here, but he said when he founded the company or got popular or whatever, never open on a Sunday and never go public. Keep it in the family. Which I can see the benefits. They're clearly doing a good job running the company because, like, look,
Yeah, yeah.
they're expanding quite fastly into Canada for a big American food chain like that into an international market. Like they had, I think, like a year ago there was only two, and then now there's like five.
Do you think some sort of funding comes from religious groups or churches or anything like when they were first starting out?
think I really think that it's probably just popularity, like because
They get some good
like
food. Some
because
good food.
Chick-fil-A they it's not like pre-made. They literally sit there every morning and hand bread the chicken that's gonna be
Hmm.
eaten and it's cooked, like right there. Like it's real food. There's no like chemical aftertaste whatsoever. Their waffle fries are fantastic.
Hmm.
I think with any
Yeah.
company that has a sort of like company culture around it, I'll say Chick-fil-A has that, obviously. I think those companies tend to generally perform well. I think I can't think of a
Yeah.
company like off the top of my head that has that sort of like culture where it's like I don't know how to describe it, but like a culture of like all like its customers and then its employees being like
And I know what you mean.
like
Like the Chick-fil-A has
family
that
type
thing
of
that,
culture.
yeah, we're very nice. Like, have you seen
Yeah,
those, like, those funny Instagram videos where they compare like McDonald's service to Chick-fil-A service? Because I mean,
yeah,
it is a lot different. Like, they don't do this in Canada, but like in the U.S., I think the drive-throughs, like, there's like a person standing there who takes your order or something like that. You
yeah.
know
I
what I
think I've
mean?
seen videos of that.
And
Here,
they're
wait,
just
I'm
very
I'm
like,
looking something up. Let me find it.
what?
Here we go.
Chick-fil-A?
Here we go. Chick-fil-A. This is a sign from a store in the U.S. They were posting for a job description. $16.50 starting wage.
In the
Flexible
U.S.
schedule
Wait, in
in
the
the
U.S.
U.S. 16.50 U.S. an hour starting wage.
I don't think that's
Flexible
right.
hours, closed on Sunday, free food every shift, 20% family discount, scholarship opportunities, leadership and growth opportunities, and tuition reimbursement of $2,000 a year.
What the
Yeah,
heck?
like that's what I mean. Like
So
that sort
they
of culture
they
is
clearly take care of their employees.
yeah.
Where did you find that?
I saw
1650?
it. I
How is
was
that the
scrolling
starting
through.
wage? That's not minimum
Oh,
wage.
that's not
No,
even
that's
minimum wage.
way beyond minimum
That's
wage.
higher than our minimum wage, which is higher than like the
Yeah.
average American. That's why I asked. I'm like, wait, like U.S. 1650, which is like
According to this post that I saw.
nah,
Free
that's
waffle
insane.
fries every shift and like free tenders? Like, are you
Like
kidding me?
I think I would probably get fired because I think I would take that free food to the
Yeah,
nth degree. It's like, hi, how can you take your order as I'm stuffing my face with waffle fries?
yeah, literally. But I don't know. Lego still kind of shocks me. Who in the early stages of Lego, who was funding that?
I think that I don't know. I think
I
I think
mean,
they like I don't think these people like is when Lego started, it was a long time ago when
Yeah,
they
like
started. Like they
the
didn't do
60s,
bricks
no?
before. No. Like way before that. Like they were building wooden toys a long
Oh,
time ago.
it
Like
wasn't
I
those
they
like put them together and build stuff?
no. Like they got that like later on in the 60s. I'm not sure. I saw a documentary like a long time ago, but I literally think these companies have just gone with organic growth.
Hmm.
And Lego is astonishing because if you're bored, go and look up the videos of the factories where they make the bricks. It is crazy. It's all like there's not a single person in the factory. It's all the machines literally do it. So they all the pieces come out and the robot comes picks them up and knows where to put it on the shelf. And then when they need it for a new product, they take it off the shelf and they start sorting it. It is crazy.
you
That's
know, I'm
insane. All the packaging too, knowing exactly how many pieces and which pieces, you know?
And like with Lego, there is never you always get extra pieces, but there's never a piece missing. They
Yeah,
never make a mistake.
yeah, exactly.
see,
But
I might get
it's just
hated for this,
crazy.
but I do not like Legos. I'm just not
Oh
a
Nuwair will
no.
not be joining us for this episode.
That was a huge part of the childhood.
no
Bro, my
man, not for
childhood
me.
probably personally paid for those robots.
No, I've never been a Lego guy. I think I had one or two times where I've like used Legos, and after that I'm just like, no man, no,
You're
not
missing
for
out.
me.
You're
Damn,
missing
Nuwair was
out.
reading earnings reports when he's
Yeah, yeah.
growing up.
I, I
No.
I was building little like office buildings of like banks and stuff.
Yeah.
But did you have the games too, the Lego games, like the
Okay,
video
I
games?
Of
Or
played the
course.
Lego
okay.
games. I played the Lego
Oh,
games.
so you played the
Yeah.
games, but you didn't have
I
the
played the
toys.
games, but I didn't have the toys. Well, I did, but like, see, I got like
But
one. I
like
got it as a gift, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, I got it. Okay, let me build it. I built it. I'm like, okay, that's it. Bye, and just forget about it.
Lego, like the video games were genius because it is the consumer pays for this product, but the product itself is literally just marketing for more products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because like the one that I remember the most from when I was a kid, and it was my favorite, was the Lego Batman game. And you could go and you could play as the characters, and then they're in the vehicles, and then you go to the store and it's the exact same vehicle as in the game. So it's literally just marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
They're
video games just
bringing
market the sets. It's
yeah, the game
genius.
was just bringing these things to life on a screen. Like, yeah, really smart idea. Still
And
don't
then
understand how all this time they're private. Like,
they
it's
did the
crazy. But
movies too. They had the
oh
two
Oh
Lego
yeah,
movies, and
yeah,
then they had the
the
yeah.
Lego
Lego
Batman
movie.
movie.
Great
Was the
company.
Lego movie stop motion or animated?
I think it's animated, like CG animated.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, no, I think you know how we were joking about Farhan as on the cash flow statement of
Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. I think my
Hmm.
childhood probably paid for those robots in those Lego factories.
Really? Like you were that big on it?
Oh yeah, I loved Lego as a kid, man. That's the best because you know you could I would like I I I built my own stuff too. I loved it.
Hmm.
And then
I
like
know it was fun.
then they come out with like all this stuff, and you see it when you're a kid. It's like crap. Now I gotta get that.
I know, I know.
See, I was more of a watching sports kind of guy. Just put on the TV and just sit back, which is why the company that I want to see go public, and I think that there's been talks about it going public or whatnot, is UFC, Dana White and whatnot. I think that would be interesting because I've heard a lot of news about like talk of it going public and if it ever will. But like a sports league like that, that would be like, is there a sports league? I don't think so, or something like UFC that is public. I don't think
that
so.
that would be interesting because like Dana White is such an interesting character. Like, have you seen the videos of him getting banned from the Palms for playing blackjack too well?
No way.
No.
Yeah, like he didn't like. I don't even think like they banned him for cheating. I think they just said like they called him and said, you know, Dana, you know, you're such a nice guy, but like you're costing us too much money, right? So this
Oh
was at
my
the Palm.
God.
So he rinsed them for millions of dollars playing blackjack, right?
Yeah,
So it's on
that's
video. It's, like
That's a
look it up. It's
huge
so funny.
flex.
So he took all the money for playing blackjack, right? And he plays like 50 grand a hand playing blackjack, which is insane. So then he's on the phone with the head of the casino at the Palms, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, all right." So he hangs up with her, picks the phone back up, calls the booking department for the UFC. He goes, "Yeah, can we pull all of our shows out of the Palms?"
damn. You see, like
No way.
Dana
So that
White's like,
I think I'm not sure about the next part that I'm about to say, but I think they called him back and said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, Dana, it's okay. You can come back and play." And then they just banned him again, and they pulled him out.
Oh my God. That's
damn.
imagine being so good at blackjack that they pull you out. That's
Yeah,
insane.
But that's such a a legend move. Like, yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
okay. I
that
can't
is
play
pretty
cards.
sick.
All right, you don't get UFC.
I mean UFC's been like, I I I don't think they're at the level of boxing, like at least money wise, because I think boxers get paid a lot more than UFC fighters and whatnot. But like brand wise, I think a lot, or at least with like the people I talk to, are a lot more interested in UFC, especially nowadays compared to like, I mean, if you go back 20 years ago, most people would be talking about boxing more than UFC. Whereas right now, one of the biggest events in boxing, like that people tuned into, Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. That was a
Oh,
huge thing.
oh, I thought you were gonna say something else. I thought you
No,
were gonna say Floyd Mayweather and Logan
Logan
Paul. That's
Paul.
why I
No,
rolled my
no,
eyes. I'd
no,
like to retract that eye roll.
no, definitely not that. But
You know how
yeah, I
you
think
guys were saying that video games would be a super volatile stock? Imagine UFC. Can you imagine
Oh
the
my
build up
god.
to like, for example, like a Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor like type fight? Like, you know, stocks gonna go
Not
crazy.
even that. Not even that. Imagine the build up to Logan Paul and Mayweather, right? Everyone's thinking, you know, this Logan Paul guy is gonna get the works, right? And then they sit there and they hug for however long it
yeah,
was. That
And
would
then,
be that stock would be in the trench the next
but
yeah,
day.
like it doesn't even
literally.
matter though at that point because you're already getting all that pay per view. Like, so does it really even matter at the like? I don't think it would affect it
I think
that
it would.
much.
I think it would because people that own the
Well,
stock would be like, "What did I just watch?"
yeah, I mean, you don't want
True.
to you don't want to go public and then just have a shitty stock. Like, you
No,
know what I
but
mean?
but like boxing is because boxing is like one. No, there are cards for boxing, but I feel like with UFC, there's always like in any card, there's always one fight that's just like wow, that's like that makes it worth it, or usually,
Mm,
and you get
yeah.
like a lot with the pay per view. I don't know, it would be an interesting thing, like the whole like, cause I don't think there are any sports type public companies. Like I know people invest
Not that I can think of.
like
But
LeBron.
like,
LeBron holds a 10% share in Liverpool, which is a soccer team, which is
Yeah, but you can only
fully random
do
and
that
cool.
because he can only do that because he's LeBron. Like, he
right,
can't.
you get that. Those are
Yeah,
still private clubs, but you can be invited to invest. Like I know, what's his name? Bill Maher owns a minority stake in the Mets, the baseball
Really?
team. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I would
Whatever.
like if the opportunity was there, like, cause I'm a huge Chelsea fan. I would easily buy a share, cause so they have this thing called the pitch, like the football pitch or whatever, soccer pitch, whatever. You can kind of like buy a share or be a part of that, and you get like this certificate with your name on it and everything that you own a piece of that share, cause it's not owned by the club itself, but it's like a different shareholder pitch organization that rents it to the club. So you could do that, and a lot of people do. And there's different. It's like a huge whole thing. You get a certificate. If you're
Wait,
there,
so
you
there's a
get to
parent
go out.
organization that owns Chelsea? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, so there's an organization. So like the club. So there's the club, and then there's the field and the stadium. So the field is rented. The field isn't originally Chelsea's itself. So there's a whole like
Okay.
pitch shareholders and whatnot that have a say in like, yeah, Chelsea's gonna use this. And it's like, of course, built with fans and stuff, all. But you could like buy a share in that. Like you'd be like, yeah, I own like a small piece of the field or whatever.
So
Okay.
you can buy
So
the
how do
stadium
you,
and not the team.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
And
not
so
like
how do you get
entirely
invited to
buying.
something like that?
Right,
I
right,
mean, it's
right.
you go on you could buy it right now on the website. I was gonna buy some, but it was
Oh,
like it was closed, and like for the pitch, you could. It was like closed because of like COVID and like deliveries and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, all the way from London here, it's gonna be way too expensive.
Here
but like you're
comes
not
my
paying for the team though.
Yeah, but it's still like the
right.
field.
Here comes my revenge for Nuwair's Lego comments. I can't watch soccer to save my life.
Oh
Ah,
shit. That's
that's
rough.
I don't watch many sports. Like I watch UFC. I do like UFC. That's the one I do like because you can tell no one's faking anything.
yeah.
um like I watch baseball only because my grandmother is a huge Blue Jays fan, like the biggest Blue Jays fan ever is my grandmother. So like you're
Really?
kind of like when it's on, you got to watch it, right? So you might as well enjoy it. The only other one that I would watch is like football. The rest I can't. Like
Yeah.
soccer is just
No hockey, no basketball?
I'm like the anti-Canadian. I
Really?
can't watch hockey. I can't watch hockey. Basketball, the first basketball game I ever watched was when the Raptors were in the finals against Milwaukee, and I fell asleep within 2 quarters.
You guys actually are an American, eh, Noir?
Yeah,
Not
just
even you guys actually a full blown American.
oof. I mean, that's
I hockey. I think hockey is probably the worst for me to watch.
Damn, that's crazy.
Like I think I would rather watch like some like really obscure Olympic event. Like, did you know speed walking? I think is an Olympic event.
Yeah, but like no, like not Olymp like it's not like was
comparing.
it at the Olympics right now? Like it's occurring.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
fast
but
walking.
you just compared speed walking to hockey. There's no way that
I'm
just
gonna get hate for
there's no way
that.
that just happened on this podcast.
Yeah,
Like
race
if
walking.
if that's an Olympic sport, like sign me up. I swear I'll win. Like I don't need to
No,
train.
bro, like it's hard. Like I've seen it. It's weird. Like their form or whatever. It's just I don't know.
How fast can they be walking? Like
Yeah,
oh my
I mean,
god.
but
Race
that's
walk.
yeah. Hey, we're ending
Anyways, we're getting
off on a
so off topic
yeah.
here.
Like,
Nowhere,
but the other
what's the
thing too.
time
Wait,
say?
wait, wait, wait. One more point before the
Okay.
Canadians here. execute me for treason.
Okay.
I play golf. I
Okay.
can't watch golf.
Okay.
Like watching golf is pretty difficult unless you're watching like a highlight reel. Or they
Okay.
have these like they have long drive championships which are crazy because you have these guys hitting like 400 something yards, but it's like they literally line up football fields for them to hit through. So like stuff like that I can watch, but regular golf I can't watch either.
So
So that's
so the Canadians are supposed to take you back because you play golf?
no,
Yeah,
because
like what is
I
this
play golf,
marketing?
but I also don't. It's not working. I'm gonna get sent back to. I'm gonna get sent to the U.S. It's like here, take
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, literally.
Ryan Reynolds and Justin Trudeau will throw me out of the country.
Why Ryan Reynolds?
It's like the token Canadian boy. You know, he's a good Canadian lad.
Fair enough.
uh,
All
but
right, Noah, how are
yeah,
we doing for time right now?
we've gone quite some time.
Quite over, but that was a good discussion today. Some interesting talks. Hopefully you
We,
guys enjoyed this episode. We do want to hear though what companies
your
you guys
hate.
think should be
Oh,
public. Oh well, yeah, hate on Alex, for being an
Yeah,
anti-Canadian, but also
what? You watch hockey, Farhan?
like no, but like
Oh,
I can watch it. Like I'll enjoy it though.
you
If
know,
I watch,
I
I'll enjoy
used
it.
to,
I
I
used
used
to. I
to.
used to.
oh
I used
yeah,
to be
yeah,
so
yeah.
heavy in
Okay,
it.
okay. So we'll be on the
I
same
swear.
extradition train. I see.
But no, not anymore. I'm also a trader now. But yeah, we do want to hear from you guys what companies you think should be public. It'd be super interesting to see some different perspectives on that. But yeah, that is it for today's episode. Make sure to tune in next week for another 40 minutes of just mindless finance conversation. Thank you guys, and we'll see you.